And we are live talking about movies. Once again, I am a bit late to the party. Very sorry about that. Today, Jurassic World Rebirth and an IP talk. I will basically be reviewing my favorite and last, or I should say, and least favorite Jurassic World movies. And after reviewing my favorite and least favorite, we will dive deep into Rebirth, the brand new movie. With that being said, let's do this. Um, Now, I will start by saying it was actually my first time covering the entire IP, covering the entire franchise, and actually seeing all of them. As a child, I did happen to see the first three, but after 2001, I stayed away from that franchise. And the big reason is, well, I had other stuff going on, and dinosaur were re- rewind. Dinosaur were not my cup of tea. Kaiju stuff, not a fan. So that's why I didn't see what happened after 2001. Now, for this stream, I decided to watch every Jurassic World, every Jurassic Park, and that was fun. That was very fun. The first three were very enjoyable, and then we got the other trilogy, and whatever we got with that seventh movie. Now, let's start by talking about my least favorite in the franchise, and this is the Minion. The Minion was so painful, it was terrible. I hated that movie, and I was like, you know what? Why does that thing exist? I have no clue. I don't know what they were thinking. They did such a bad movie, and it was painful. Um, it's not the worst thing I've seen. I've seen worst. So let's start by mentioning the issues I had with Dominion, the worst Jurassic World movies in my book. My first issue, visual, felt off during the chase scene in the snow. The bad guys can aim. Too many characters to add more to the story. Splitting in two wasn't needed. It feels like, oh, I think we are, yeah, Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, oh, yeah, that was bad. Um, Again, too many characters to add more to the story. Splitting in two was needed. It feels like they could have made two separate movies instead of one movie trying to do too much. I had a glitch in the system right now because, to be honest, I wanted to forget I've seen that thing. I truly despise Dominion. My fourth issue with Dominion, plot convenience. Bumping into the girl that happened to see the kid through another plot convenience. The fifth issue, massive plot armor during the parachute scene. My sixth issue, another weak villain. Now we had like 2 or 3 weak villains in a row. That's kind of terrible. That's sad. That's unfortunate. My seventh issue, plot armor in the caverns. My eighth issue, attempts at humor didn't work. Now, even if I really hated that movie, there's few decent things about Dominion. Animal exploitation through the dinosaurs having fight for entertainment was kind of cool. Theme of controlling nature that's out of control was nicely addressed. Restricting the girl's liberty for her own good was also very good. Um, the action was fun. The music was enjoyable. Blue being back was kind of fun. The movie was competent, or I should say, it was good at showing overtelling. The action was cool, the lore was okay, and the two dinosaurs having a big fight at the end was fun. Now, Dominion was the weak point of that franchise. That's why it's my least favorite. Um, so yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about Dominion. Um, I think Dominion in my books is a 4.5 out of 10. A really bad shot at the franchise. We were lucky enough to get much better movies in the franchise. Now, moving into the next one. My favorite in the franchise, as of right now, it might be a hot take, but the 2015 one is my favorite. The first Chris Pratt. I have no issues whatsoever. None. Um, I there's just so much to say about Jurassic World. The iconic music was entertaining. The lore hinting at the first trilogy was fun. The kids talking about the divorce of their parent was okay. It was kind of well made. The aunt becoming a more competent parent was great. Nice parallels between the board and the monsters they both enjoy to hunt. Nice growth for the aunt into someone that actually cared for her nephews. That's very fun because at first she wasn't like that. I feel like the aunt in that Jurassic World movie was quite interesting character. She was very fun. I think that was her best movie um, in these three actually. Um, Now, next thing. Um, Nice growth of the businessman into rejecting profit since the monster detected humans. Well depicted how things go out of control fast when dealing with the unknown. Chris Pratt trying to humanize the dinosaurs was very fun. And again, I think the movie really early in that movie that was well shown how the aunt is a terrible parent. That's funny. She was just giving the nephews to someone else to take care of them because she was too busy. She was too occupied for that. Um, and it was very interesting how Chris Pratt was very good with animals, and that was the highlight of that movie. Chris Pratt was very good, and I think that was the only Jurassic World where I actually felt sad about the dinosaur dying, which is kind of cool. Um, the group riding along dinosaurs was the most epic thing in the entire franchise, I'd say. That's just very cool. And the climax with like three dinosaurs having like a big fight. I'm telling you, that fourth Jurassic World, that first movie with Chris Pratt was very fun. I enjoyed that movie a lot. Now, don't have a lot more to say outside of I will give a 10 out of 10 to my favorite Jurassic World. It's well deserved. I really like that thing. Now is the time. The time we talk about the most recent installment, Jurassic World Rebirth. I will be honest, I wasn't that excited about watching that one because I didn't like the other two just before Rebirth. I I thought Lost World, or yeah, I think that was Last World, Lost World, what, Fallen World, Fallen Kingdom. I mixed up things. Fallen Kingdom being the fifth one was a letdown. It was the first Jurassic World I didn't like. It was then followed by Dominion I truly hated. So coming into Rebirth, I was like, you know what? have the bar low. That's the only way you can survive. Having that bar low, maybe you will go out of the theater and be happy. So here we are. I've seen Rebirth last Friday. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't have time this week to cover it earlier to really get the hype if there was any. But now we are here, late to the party. Rebirth. Scarlett Johansson is cool. I enjoy her in pretty much anything she's in. And that's weird. That's very weird because she's not even one of my favorite actresses. There's so many other actresses I can think of that I like more than her, but I still enjoy most of her projects. I can't remember a project she did that I didn't like. Um, so yeah, let's get into Rebirth because that movie I've seen it in theater. I don't really have that much notes, unfortunately, but here we are. I had 6 issues with that movie. The first one, it wasn't believable how easily the paper of a chocolate candy bar was enough to make an entire system crash. It was also very convenient. Felt ridiculous. It's like, do you think I'm stupid? I think the movie thinks I'm stupid. I hated that moment. And I was like, you know what? After seeing Dominion, I feel like the entire movie will be like that. Lucky enough, I was wrong. Not the entire movie is like that, but there are still like enough issues to get around. It could have been worse. That's what I can tell. My second issue. It wasn't believable how much damage the boat took on before crashing on the island. It should have sunk much earlier. I mean, even the dinosaurs, they were so effective at hunting down the other boats. But now, because the main cast must survive that encounter for the movie to happen, well, the boat goes through so many things, and it's the works. And then it crashes on the island at last. But I mean, that sequence was really a hard pill to swallow. My third issue. That's a trend with that franchise the after I will be honest, after the second one, that was a trend. Now, the fifth one, rewind, the fourth one was my favorite because to be honest, I don't remember that movie having quite a bad villain. We had like cool villain. I think that one, the guy that wanted to hunt the dinosaurs, that was a fun one. So I think the first two and the fourth one had decent villains. But if you go at the third one, weaker villain. If you go to the fifth one, weaker villain. The sixth, weaker villain, and that's just a trend because Rebirth also had a weak villain in my books. Uh, my fourth issue with Rebirth, all that were predictable, and all the victims outside of the villain were just weak character meant to die. And yeah, I already spoiled it, but let's be honest, there are spoilers here. We spoil the entire thing. That's what we are doing here. Now, my fifth issue with Rebirth, Duncan surviving undermined his big sacrifice. It was also a massive plot armor moment because like it was like 5 feet away of a dinosaur willing to eat him, but no, he must survive. He must have that happy ending. I hated that thing. I hate it when movie do that. I'm like, don't enter that territory. Um, Now let's get into my final issue with Rebirth. The youngest kid surviving her first chase wasn't believable, and it was massive. And a massive plot armor, I'm telling you, massive plot armor. It's ridiculous. It's like they're a good hunter if they need to eat other dinosaurs, but when they need to hunt or eat humans. These dinosaurs are just turning really bad and they suck at it. Simple. Simple. Now, these were my issues. And now, let's get into the likes. And again, it's a movie I've seen in theater, so I don't have really extensive notes. That's a bit unfortunate because I enjoyed that movie. That was a fun experience. I trashed on it a lot, but I'd say that movie is somewhere in the middle of that franchise. It's not the worst, it's not the best, obviously, but I like the experience. It's a must watch. If you like the Jurassic World IP, go watch that. Um, is it the best one? No. Again, I think the best one was the fourth one, the first one with Chris Pratt. That was a great one. Anyhow, let's get into the likes and some of my notes. Scarlett Johansson's growth into caring about others instead of her own interests was cool. That was the highlight. And again, I like almost everything Scarlett Johansson has her hands on. The other thing to enjoy, more teams of animal exploitation. That's a trend with the entire franchise, and that's part of the charm. I like that. You want to watch a good movie that talks about animal exploitation? I think any movies that franchise is good, even the worst ones like Dominion. Um, but yeah, that's all I felt about that team. Now, other likes. The action was cool. Scarlett Johansson was the best character since Chris Pratt. The scientist with glasses was great. The humor in that movie was the best. The chemistry in the cast was solid. That cast was probably my favorite because it was limited to a small number of characters. And I think that's a winning formula. Hopefully every other Jurassic World, because they will like milk out that franchise so much, I can tell already. Keep that limited and small. Again, I think some of the characters were weak here. The one that died, they were just there to die. That's tragic. What could have been wow is you take time bonding with characters that are actually really good and you decide to just delete some of them. This is sad. This is what makes a movie good. This is what makes a movie have some legs. If you take risk, if you get rid of really good characters, you see the tension. You revive a franchise that's, let's be honest, is dying. Because I will be honest, we are 7 movies into it. The first 4 were good on every aspect, but anything after the 4th one, it's going downhill. As much as I liked Rebirth, it's nowhere near as good as the first 4, and that's unfortunate. Because again, I enjoy Scarlett Johansson, and I think Rebirth is an improvement over Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, but it didn't capture what the original trilogy did. It didn't capture what the first Chris Pratt movie did. So that's unfortunate. And with that being said, I don't have a lot more to say because again, I've seen it in theater. Enjoyable experience, but unfortunately, it kind of missed the mark at some point. I liked it, but it's like a guilty pleasure. It's like, I know it's not a great movie, but that's a fun movie. And I will give Rebirth a 6.5. And now that stream was meant to be very short because, again, I don't have a lot more to say. So let's rank the dinosaurs. Let's rank all of the movies in that franchise. So, my least favorite, the rock bottom. Some of you may have guessed it, but I shall call Dominion. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, I'm always mixing up the names. Jurassic World, Dominion was a 4.5 out of 10 for me. That's in 7th place. Coming in 6th place, we got Fallen Kingdom, the fifth Jurassic World, with a 5.5 out of 10. And coming in fifth place, it's unfortunate, but Rebirth is right there with a 6.5. Coming in fourth place, I will shock and surprise some of you. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. The third Jurassic World, I think it's Jurassic Park 3. I can't remember the name, but I know it's the third one. I gave a 8.5 out of 10 to the third Jurassic Park. Now, in second place, oh no, that's third place. Sorry, I'm mixing up things. I freestyle. I don't have any notes right now. My third favorite Jurassic World movie was the second, the sequel, with a 9.7, near perfection. And I remember my only issue being like some of these people just were hanging on that truck beside the ravine for like way too long, and the movie thought I was stupid. Then, then in second place, we got the original Jurassic Park with a 10 out of 10. I like that movie. Yes, sometimes I do enjoy older movies. That was a perfect example. Now, my favorite, I said it many times in this stream, that was the first Chris Pratt Jurassic World. Jurassic World. The fourth movie in the franchise is my favorite. I like that thing. I like it. So now, going forward with the Jurassic World, I think they need reduced casts. They need to take risk, and you need to be willing to just delete some of your good characters to make the viewer experience something new. The big thing with the later movies in the franchise, they were scared to delete characters. They would shy away from taking risk. Even if I really like Jurassic World, it had something missing. And it's something that gets bigger with the fifth, the sixth, and the most recent one. They don't really take risk, and that's unfortunate. So again, the fourth Jurassic World is my favorite, but I feel like they didn't take risk, and maybe that's why that's my favorite. But Fallen Kingdom, I don't remember anyone important dying. Dominion, same deal. And let's be honest, Rebirth, they could have deleted Duncan. Probably one of the highlights of that movie. And leave you like, you know what? It's sad to see that character go, but he must go because there's tension, there's danger. And that movie, that franchise is also about cloning. So maybe you could create a plot in a movie where you get attached to some of the character and they die, but later on you learn they have a clone, but because that clone has a different experience, it's still a new character, but it's similar. Like a lot of movies did that kind of stuff. A lot of TV shows mostly did that kind of stuff. But you can explore that. It's about cloning anyway. Like none of these dinosaurs are the original one. They're all clones. So that could be things to look at in the future of the Jurassic World. Now, is it in the right path? I think it's a mixed answer, yes and no. Yes, because that movie was clearly better than Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, but no, because it felt capturing what the original trilogy did. And it's unfortunate because I like Scarlett Johansson. Anyhow, we are out. Thank you for watching. And now, next Tuesday, we talk about Superman. I really like that one. We also talk about Man of Steel. So this will be show and film adaptation. I cannot wait for that. Maybe we will have guests. Now, another thing for next week, we will be talking about Andrea Arnold again. With that being said, I am out. Thank you very much.